So you might be wondering, why am I filming this? If you guys don't know what one of these is, another museum minter here on the channel. I had one of these as my second car. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video back on the Driven 24/7 Automotive YouTube channel. It's going to be about a high of 1 degree today, so I'm very thankful for filming this video inside. And yeah, you guessed it, we are filming another Ford. So I am actually at Keith Motors. You have to bear with my voice being a bit echoey because yeah, we're in an echoey building, of course. So I actually come across this car and its story on TikTok of all places. And when I found out Keith Motors actually had this vehicle in their stock, I got in touch, as you guessed, I asked a question, and here I am today. So you might be wondering, why am I filming this bog standard Mark IV Ford Fiesta? I'll tell you why, because this car has only got one owner from new. It was actually bought from this dealership and recently part exchanged at this dealership. But here's the special bit. So this is a 1999 car. It's only got just over 26,000 miles on the clock. So we've got, in my words, another museum minter here on the channel, and as I say, I just had to film this car because I love low mileage retro cars like this Ford Fiesta we have today. So I did ask if I could actually drive this car for this video, and Keith Motors said no, and to be honest, I'd be a little bit scared driving such a nice historic vehicle such as this one. So we're going to stay indoors today, as I say. I'm very grateful for that. But I don't need to drive this car anyway, because before I started this YouTube channel, I've actually had one of these as my second car. I actually ended up having two, and I'll tell you about the story about that in a minute. But I have had one of these as my second car, I've driven one of these, and yeah, I'm just going to talk about also my history of owning one of these vehicles, so we don't have to take it for a drive anyway. But let's take a look around this Ford nonetheless. So let's take a look around. So all I know about this car is it's on a 1999 registration. I believe it's a Z-Tech model, hence I believe the alloy wheels from factory standard. The colour of this car is actually a purple, but I think it's written down as like a blue. I don't have the colour name to hand, unfortunately. We have things which I guess were top spec, such as the alloy wheels I've just said. We have the body coloured bumpers front and rear, body coloured mirrors, because as I said, I've owned two of these before. One of them that I had was all body coloured but hubcaps, and then I had another one of these which was a much more basic model with the black non-body coloured bumpers, and that might have had hubcaps or maybe it had alloys. I can't remember, we're talking like 10 years ago now. Because this car's only a one previous owner, and it was, as I say, bought at this dealership and now part X, that one previous owner has definitely looked after this Fiesta very, very well, and it has some original dealer features such as, if you guys don't know what one of these is, it's a tax disc, and you used to have one of these to show your vehicle was taxed, kids. So we have the Keith Motors main dealer tax disc holder, and you also have a tax disc in there. And down here we have a main dealer stamped front number plate, a main dealer stamped rear number plate. So also on the rear, of course, this car has got dealer stickers on it. I was just about to say it has one dealer sticker, but I've just noticed it's actually got two. So we've got a Keith Motors dealer sticker here on the bottom of the rear window, underneath this immaculate looking rear wiper. We've also got another dealer sticker here at the top underneath the sporty spoiler. So I'm going to have to throw in some Ford Fiesta facts in there, because I've definitely done my research for this video to do this car and hopefully do this video justice. So this 4th generation Ford Fiesta, otherwise known as the Mark IV, was launched in 1995 and it actually won best-selling car from 1996 to 1998. Mazda liked Ford's idea so much they decided to put their own badges on the car, that is true, and they had a Mazda version of this Ford Fiesta called the Mazda 121. In my opinion, I believe they just basically stuck Mazda badges all over the car and it was then called a Mazda. It was actually a Fiesta. And if my research has served me right, these Fiestas came in a range of engines, 10 petrol engines, 2 diesel engines, but I believe this car to be the 1.25 Z-Tech petrol, and it's a manual. In styling wise, I personally think this car is kind of styled from the Ford Ka from the same kind of era. You've got the same kind of bubbleness to this car. The previous Fiesta being the Mark III, I also really like them. They're getting a rare spot to see on the roads nowadays. They're more of a square shape. And so were the Fiestas, Mark I, Mark II, up to the Mark III. But the Mark IV, as I say, I think got its styling a little bit from the Ka with the bubbleness like styling. basically, but it's not a bad thing because I think it's kind of cool and it definitely looks more modern than the previous Fiestas that came before this 4th generation. Produced in a 3-door or a 5-door variant, or I think you could even get like a little Fiesta van with basically the back windows panelled out. So let me show you around this particular car we have behind me, just bearing in mind that it's absolutely immaculate and it deserves to be indoor in this little mini showroom Keith Motors have. And then we'll take a trip down memory lane and I'll talk about my experience of owning one of these cars. Mine just wasn't as immaculate, of course. So the condition of this car, guys, really is something. The front, the headlights, fog lights, this one even has as well, all just crystal clear. Paintwork is really, really nice. Then we've got the alloy wheels. They are, what size are they? Oh, they're 14-inch, but I've always liked the pattern of this alloy wheel, and just look how clean this particular one is. We have on the front passenger side, and then all the body trims are as black as they should be. As I say, we have the body coloured mirrors, and going back to the front, we obviously have the body coloured front bumper and rear bumper, even all the wiper arms. Again, black. Look how clean this scuttle is as well. The mirror surround is as black as it should be. All the rubbers are just absolutely immaculate, and on an old car, if not looked after, basically, as you guys probably know, these rubbers can proper perish, just like tyres can, really. And then onto the passenger rear, another immaculate alloy wheel. Got mud flaps on this car as well by the looks. The only imperfection on this car, which really isn't bad at all, is we have a little graze just there, but I literally think that is it. Again, the rear light, it looks just like new. The only thing I didn't like about these for my little OCD was these came with one reverse light and one fog light, but I soon got over the look of the rear. Really nice spoiler on the rear as well. Then over onto this side, look at that nice shiny tailpipe. Another like new rear light as well. The Fiesta badge. Just look at that angle there. I can't see any dents or scratches apart from one imperfection that I just showed you. It's nice the tyres have got gloss on, because it literally looks like, well, it looks like I've basically walked back to the 90s and this car is brand new in the showroom. And then the tiniest of marks there on the mirror. But yeah, this car is just absolutely outstanding condition. In from the passenger side, and just look how clean and grey and like new those door cards are. We've got windy windows in the front. Don't think the backs pop open or anything at all. But the seats are just absolutely immaculate. Looks like we even have original Ford rubber mats. I like the texture on that as well. That is really cool. Wonder if anything's in here. Ooh, I might have a little nose through that in a minute. These cup holders, oh, I suppose they are deep enough to maybe do something, but I wouldn't recommend using them probably while driving. They're probably still too shallow. Guys, I've just had to have a look, and hopefully Keith Motors don't mind. It adds to the story of this car, really. So we have the Ford original book pack here. Inside there we have the service book, and it's full main dealer service, all by this dealership by the looks. We also have just covered it up a bit, but we also have original lock and wheel nut key in its original Ford wrapping. I've just covered it up in case it's telling you what particular lock and wheel nut this car has, and also we don't want people knowing that. Oh, just everything's like new. And yeah, in the back, the carpet is just like new. Even all the trim panels here, just absolutely exceptional. So this being the 3-door, a little bit stiff, probably haven't been done like that before. Again, we look like we have the Ford rubber mats in the rear. Kind of look like hundreds of thousands on the pattern. I really like it. And then they just look like they've never been sat in their lives. And just looking at the driver's side, another immaculate door card. And this car actually has white dials, which must be a Z-Tech thing, because my Fiestas I had never had this. I mean, yeah, just look at it. Just absolutely like new. Manual gear knob and selector, whatever there. Cubby holes. This is really bringing back some memories now. How do you take this out? And even that, the 12 volt is like new. Wow. Original Ford radio in here again. Even the buttons don't look worn, like it just never looks like it's been used. You got the clocks there, front and rear fogs, rear window demister, headlight leveler. But wow, the steering wheel as well. even all like the window wiper controls, light controls, this level, unless this person just drove with gloves all the time, this doesn't look like it's been used at all. And there we have it on the nice sporty white dials, just over 26,000 miles. And we have a nice cubby hole here. We've got the little cubby holes on the door cars, but yeah, all the dashboard, plastics, just absolutely immaculate. And then the sunroofs on these cars are quite funny because you do the knob to close and open it, but I believe, yeah, there was a way to completely take out the glass panel, and I did it once on my Fiesta. So you could completely remove the glass, put it in the boot, and yeah, the glass is obviously gone, and you've got a permanent open roof until it rains here in the UK, that is. So sitting in one of these cars is just really bringing back memories. So I had one of these as my second car. I bought a more basic version of one of these in the dark, and it was real cheap, maybe under £300. Might have had a really short MOT, and that was a model where it had the black front bumper, back bumper. It was really basic Fiesta, and basically the interior was like quite lived in. The whole car was, to be honest, hence why I think it was cheap. And we'd phoned up this scrapyard and said, have you got a Fiesta in that we can take the interior out of? And they said yes. And I'll never forget it. I nearly cried at this moment. But so we turned up at this scrapyard, and they said, oh, we're just going to get the donor car, and then you can strip it for parts, and happy days. And yeah, this donor Fiesta come along, and I remember just looking at it, driving along in the scrapyard. I was like, whoa, that is so nice. And I said to my mum and dad, I was like, God, that is so nice, is that getting scrapped? And with that, my dad's like, right, okay, come on, let's get the tools, let's start stripping this car and take what we need. And I was like, Dad, don't touch it. I was like, can't we just buy this car? Because it's much better condition than the Fiesta that we've also just bought me. And with that, we got it up on the ramps in the scrapyard. It was absolutely immaculate. Basically, back then, people were scrapping cars because they couldn't afford to tax them. And now we moan about, you know, money and things going up in our world, but people would just scrap cars for no reason. So what happened was I ended up buying this better condition Fiesta, getting rid of the one that I'd only just had, and I just took the whole car home because it was just too nice to say no, and it was just too nice to get scrapped. And that Fiesta I then had from the scrapyard Survivor and all that, that was in a maroon colour. Both the Fiestas I had were in maroon, but I'll throw up some photos now. It had hubcaps, but I ended up modifying it. I think I bought this big oval back box from a boot sale for like £1. We stuck that on, it looked ridiculous. I think it stuck out loads. I think it did make a bit of a difference to the sound. I also bought and found some rear Lexus style LED kind of lights, and I fitted them myself, and I was well chuffed with that. And then what happened was, I went into my first automatic car. My brother took the Fiesta off me. He did a couple more little OEM mods. I think he put these alloys on it, and all kind of cool stuff like that. But this car brings me back loads of memories. I just felt so safe in this thing. It just floated down the bumps in the roads here that we have in the UK. We have quite a few bumpy roads. And I just remembered the whole driving experience of that Fiesta just being like nothing I'd ever driven before. And this was being my second car. And it just handled bumps with ease, the steering. It was just, I just felt quite safe in it. Probably because obviously it had an airbag here and a steering wheel. But it just felt like such a safe car. And it was a Ford, and I just felt really cool that my second car in my driving life was a Ford. So yeah, you can tell I was going to be a petrol head because by the time I was about 18, I'd already had 2 cars, and I've just shown you the boot in this thing, but I remember I used to try and do a bit of a, you know, side hustle because minimum wage was so poor back then, it still is. And I remember I used to chuck all sorts in the boot of one of these things. I used to fold the seats down, I used to get lawnmowers in there, and I used to do, at 17, 18 years old, just poot around this thing. It'd earn me money, it'd be my daily driver. I did some little ridiculous mods, and I never declared it on insurance because I didn't even know that was a thing. And yeah, I just used to love my little Fiesta. I used to be polishing it badly, probably ruining the paintwork. It's a couple of different shades of burgundy, maroon. Yeah, but I just loved that thing. I can't remember how long I had it, and then I went into an automatic, and I've liked autos and manual since. So we better look under the bonnet because I guess under here is just as immaculate as the whole rest of the car. So I'll just pop that from underneath. We're going to do this, it's going to take many times. There we go. Yeah. Oh my goodness me. Oh wow. I am lost for words. Look at that. Jeez. 16 valve Z-Tech S engine. Oh my goodness. I'm lost for words. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Wow, that is mad. So I guess this engine runs as good as it looks, but obviously because it's been stored here, it's got a flat battery. I don't care if you don't hear it run. I will just have to imagine it. It's just as sweet as it looks. But wow, I mean, even all the strut towers here. Oh, just the engine cover, pipe work, plastics again. Oh my god, unless someone's been in here and cleaned it, which they might well have done because it's been stored here for a showpiece. The fan, oh my goodness me. It's just absolutely nuts. Absolutely bonkers. So I knew this was a 1.25 and I didn't realise it was a Z-Tech S engine, so yeah. Even down here again where the wiper motor is, it's just absolutely immaculate. I just love the colour of this thing. It's like a Cadbury's purple. It's got a bit of a light gold metallic flake in the paint as well. I mean, what a colour. It's just, I love the colour. So I just think it's really cool because Keith Motors, by the way, they have a few dealerships locally here down south. I just think it's really cool because in the motor trade, if you got a car like this, forgetting the mileage and condition, when you get a car like this, you tend to send it to auction, or someone who works for the company might buy it off the company cheap. But it's so cool that because Keith Motors are a Ford main dealer, they have seen that this car is immaculate and they haven't just seen it as an old 90s Ford Fiesta. This could have gone anywhere and had a different life. I'm sure it would have been looked after because of the condition and the mileage it has got. But if I had a dealership personally, forgetting being a main dealer, but I just always have historic vehicles like this in the showroom or just parked up because it's just so cool. And you guys know me if you're watching this video. If you don't know me, then I'm going to tell you. I love 90s cars and I can really appreciate when an old car like this is just in museum condition. I've owned a couple of cars like this in museum condition, thankfully, not nowadays. But I just love the fact that it is just like new, and it shouldn't be because it's a 1999 year car. It's just absolutely nuts. So I know I haven't been able to drive this car on the roads. As I said, it's icy. I really don't want to drive at all today. And I know I haven't been able to start the engine for you guys. But like I say, when I came across this car on TikTok, I just had to get it in a YouTube video, and I'm very grateful and thankful to Keith Motors for letting me come into their dealership today and to film this tucked away Ford Fiesta that they've had come into stock. I think they've actually had it for a few months now. I know the saying is everything has a price, and I kind of think that's where Keith Motors are at with this car, but I don't think it's actually for sale. But if someone maybe threw a figure out there and said, look, here's the money, do you fancy it? Maybe a deal could be done, I'm not sure. But I think in the near future, this car will just be staying as a historic piece here at Keith Motors, and I just think that's so cool. But I am interested, guys, what would you guys value this at? Bearing in mind it's absolutely immaculate. I guess the mechanicals are as well. We've had a quick look in the engine bay there. I haven't actually checked the underneath, but I don't think I need to. But yeah, I am interested, like, what price is this priced at? Because when I had a really low mileage Honda Civic not so long ago, I struggled to put a price on that car when I came to sell it. And it might be one of those kind of things, if this car was ever to go for sale, what would you price it at? Is it going to be too steep? Is it going to be too low? I don't know. So it seems like Fords have been the running theme on my channel lately, and that's where I grew up and learnt about cars, because my dad is a Ford man at heart. He still has a few today, and he used to own old Fords back in the day. So filming a couple of Fords lately has been great. Filming this particular car has taken me down memory lane from when I used to own one myself. Like I say, I grew up mainly around Fords and Fiats, but it was mainly Fords for my dad, and it was mainly Fords for me growing up. That was kind of the cars that I knew quite well. So it's always a pleasure to film Fords because of that kind of little cute, I grew up around them because of my dad. So yeah, to film this car today has just been really nice. So because of those reasons, to film this old, I know there are older Fords out there more desirable, I know that, but to film this 1999 immaculate Ford Fiesta has just been an honour for me today. And I'm thankful to Keith Motors once again for taking the time, replying to my messages and booking in a date, and we're here today to film this video. For all links to Keith Motors will be linked in the description to this video, so check out their website. And yeah, it's so cool that this car is now just nicely stored away in a nice building, not wet, nice and dry stored. And who knows the future of this car? Maybe it will stay, maybe someone will snap it up, I don't know. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, it's just been a big throwback for me filming this car for you guys today. If you had a barn full of cars with this go in your collection, it would go in mine just for the sake of it. Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. These cars do exist, and as I say, this has come back to where it was bought from many years later, and here we are today with this car. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, me telling you about the story of this car and me showing you this immaculate Mark IV Ford Fiesta. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this car. Big thanks once again to Keith Motors, and thanks for watching guys, appreciate it. See you later. And if you've enjoyed watching this Ford video, check out another one I recently filmed on a bright pink Ford Transit MS RT. It's on a 1999 plate, T plate, can't get that word right. On a 1999 plate, and because of that